Hello, and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Daniel has the night off, and I'm having an off night, but here we go anyway. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel, but you're watching it there already if you're not watching the cable version or the online stream or listening on the radio. Speaking of which, you can also listen to it on the radio at WERA 96.7 FM. The show also has a Facebook page which is updated very sporadically. Before this gets any worse, let's get on with the news. As of Saturday morning, December 11th, reports show the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington had increased by 439 for the week, up to 20,112. That's a considerable increase from recent weeks. We at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News will continue to monitor the situation as the cooler months continue. As for vaccinations, we have some doubts about the accuracy of the data we received from the Virginia COVID-19 vaccination tracker. As of December 10th, they showed that 231,949 Arlingtonians had received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine, but they also showed Arlington's total population as being only 231,803. These statistics showing that there are 146 more vaccinated Arlingtonians than there are actual Arlingtonians is something we cannot relay without question. We will continue to monitor their website in search of a future correction or explanation. At any rate, the recent increase in cases makes it clear that Arlingtonians should remain vigilant. Meanwhile, Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 5 to 11-year-olds is still available at the following locations: Arlington Mill Community Center at 909 South Dinwiddie Street, and also Walter Reed Community Center at 2909 16th Street South. Walk-ins for 5 to 11-year-olds are available Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock p.m. to 6:45 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 o'clock a.m. to 4:45 p.m. However, the holidays may affect operations. For more information, consult the Arlington County website. Our friends at the online Arl Now organization have announced their decision to discontinue their publication of opinion pieces. The reasons they cited included, and we quote, "First, a shift in reader perceptions of opinion content. Many readers now perceive the publication of an opinion piece to be a tacit endorsement of it. Second, a change in reader reactions. We have noticed that in the comments, on social media, and in emails, people are increasingly engaging in personal attacks on our opinion columnists themselves instead of just debating their opinions. Third, a need to evolve. Nothing lasts forever, and we need to keep what we publish on Arl Now fresh, interesting, and relevant to our readers. While interest in the columns remains strong, Jane's piece on leaf blowers is our most read post of the year. It feels like it's time to try something new." End quote. Here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, we reluctantly concur with the Arl Now decision. The mere fact that an article complaining about leaf blowers was their most read post of the year suggests that something about the values of their readership might be askew. We will retain our own editorial content on this program, but, as always, our commentary will continue to be identified as such. We are also reminded of a quote attributed to Union Major General William T. Sherman. In 1863, during the Civil War, he reportedly wrote a letter to his wife, Ellen, in which he commented, and we quote, "Vox populi, vox humbug," end quote. Having occasionally sampled some of the reader comments on the Arl Now site, we hope that our population at large will take these words to heart. Responsible commentary should not be limited to journalists. Next, here is a recent Arlington crime report from the Arlington County Government website. A robbery on the 4600 block of Washington Boulevard. At approximately 8:21 a.m. on December 6th, police were dispatched to the report of an assault in progress. Upon arrival, it was determined that the female suspect entered into the business and became involved in a verbal dispute with an employee. The suspect then selected merchandise, and the employee attempted to stop her from leaving with the unpaid items. The suspect threw hot coffee onto the employee before fleeing the scene on foot. The victim sustained minor injuries and was treated by medics on scene. A warrant for robbery by force was obtained for the suspect. The investigation is ongoing. Next, a robbery on the 2800 block of Columbia Pike. At approximately 7:22 p.m. on December 7th, police were dispatched to the late report of a larceny. Upon arrival, it was determined that at approximately 6:40 p.m., the male suspect attempted to leave a store when the security alarm went off. The store employee confronted the suspect, and he allegedly implied that he had a firearm on his person before fleeing the scene on foot with merchandise. The suspect is described as a heavy-set black male, approximately 6 feet tall, 30 to 40 years old, with short black hair, wearing white shoes, jeans, a black jacket with a possible white hoodie underneath, and a white face mask. The investigation is ongoing. Also, a weapons violation on the 4600 block of 20th Road North. At approximately 7:31 a.m. on December 7th, police were dispatched to the report of a person with a gun. Upon arrival, officers located the reporting party walking in the area with a firearm in his hands and detained him. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that the reporting party had discharged the firearm inside of the residence and then left the scene as several armed individuals were allegedly approaching. The reporting party was transported to an area hospital for medical evaluation. There is no description of the other individuals. The investigation is ongoing. Then we have a series of shorter reports. Shoplifting on the 1200 block of South Hayes Street. Graffiti on the 5100 block of 8th Road South. Threats on the 1600 block of Wilson Boulevard. Trespass on the 1700 block of Crystal Drive. Destruction of property on the 5800 block of Washington Boulevard. Threats on the 2700 block of South Beach Street. Shoplifting on the 1200 block of South Hayes Street. Assault and battery on the 2800 block of South Wakefield Street. There was also a report of a stolen vehicle, identified as VAUFX 3795, a 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe Silver, on the 2200 block of South Clark Street. There were also online reports. Fraud on the 1300 block of South Scott Street. Larceny from auto on the 5100 block of 12th Street South. Larceny on the 1400 block of South Hayes Street. larceny on the 4200 block of 32nd Street South, larceny on the 2100 block of North Scott Street, larceny on the 2000 block of North Adams Street, larceny on the 1400 block of South Joyce Street, suspicious circumstances on the 1100 block of North Highland Street, identity theft on the 4700 block of 31st Street South, fraud on the 900 block of South George Mason Drive, fraud on the 3700 block of Lee Highway, fraud on the 4500 block of 40th Street North, destruction of property on the 5100 block of 7th Street South, and identity theft on the 2100 block of Clarendon Boulevard. And that completes the crime report. On what we hope will be a lighter note, we observed an unusually elaborate holiday display near the Bluemont Connector Trail. The lawn in front of the house included such diverse figures as Santa Claus, who appeared to be about 10 feet tall, accompanied by a top-hatted snowman of similar stature. There was also a roughly life-sized depiction of Will Ferrell in his costume from the movie Elf, a whimsical-looking moose who might have been life-sized, and a Grinch. Perhaps the most convincing was a life-sized figure of a man in a white robe who looked like a well-conditioned light heavyweight boxer, even though he was carrying a beer can and held a cigar in his mouth. There were other figures, such as a half-sized bus, a minion, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Olaf snowman from the movie Frozen, the Rankin-Bass Abominable Snow Monster, a medium-sized white bear with a blue sweater, a yarmulke, and a dreidel, along with some smaller Santas and other characters. With some of these later figures, it is difficult to report on whether or not they were life-sized. After all, how tall is a minion, really? At any rate, the display occupied the entire front yard and had the look of a potentially effective crime deterrent. If any of the figures contained any kind of surveillance equipment, that would be quite useful, but even if they don't, some would-be burglars might find it a challenge to find an entry into the house itself. Considering recent developments in the field of robotics, one can only wonder what next year will bring. That's enough news for this week. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Just in time for the holidays, Cinderella has joined the family series repertoire of the Cinetic Theater. This time, Cinderella is stepping into her own shoes. Led by an all-female team of Cineticons, this innovative take on the classic fairy tale is a perfect fit for audiences of all ages. This production of Cinderella is adapted and directed by Maria Simpkins. Performances start at 7 p.m. and will run through December 26th at Cinetic Theater, 1800 South Bell Street. Tickets can be obtained through Cinetic Theater's ticketing site or by calling their box office at 703-824-8060, extension 117. All guests over the age of 12 must provide proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test along with their ID prior to entry. IDs are not required for minors when accompanied by an adult, and children under 12 are not required to provide proof of vaccination or a negative test, but masks are required at all times. Our next event is for adults. It's called Deep Dive Telling Time, but don't let the simple-sounding title fool you. It's actually a deep dive into a natural history topic that scratches more than just the surface. How do plants and animals know the seasons are changing? When is it important for them to know the season? What physiological changes do the seasons trigger? You'll get the answers to these questions and more. The group will email you a link to Microsoft Teams before the program start time, and they ask that you have your device ready to go prior to the start of the program. For information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Wednesday, December 22nd from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. This is a virtual event. Now, our next event is called Pre-K Seasons, and it's kind of like the junior version of the Telling Time event. It's for kids aged 3 to 5 years. Preschool programs are offered throughout the year at both Gulf Branch and Long Branch nature centers. The theme for preschool programs is repeated during the month, so please register for only one session at each nature center per month. You only need to register the children, but caretakers must stay during the program. For information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Thursday, December 23rd from 10 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 North Military Road. Now, as you might expect, the Christmas holidays are a time for many people to spend at home with their families, and that's true of the Parks and Recreation staff. Similarly, the public libraries also go quiet during that time with no events being scheduled. However, the action picks up again soon after with a program called Tiny Tot Winter Animals. As usual for Tiny Tot, it's for little kids between the ages of 18 and 35 months, and they must be accompanied by an adult. Tiny Tot programs provide opportunities to interact one-on-one with each child while discovering the wonders of nature. Each program may include a variety of activities like dramatic play, songs, or mini hikes. Tiny Tot programs are offered throughout the year at Long Branch and Gulf Branch Nature Centers. Themes do repeat, so please register for only one program at each center per month. And again, you only need to register the children, but caretakers must stay during the program. Do be prepared to be outdoors. Register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Tuesday, December 28th from 10 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 North Military Road. Our final CBB event is called Winter Insects and Other Creatures, and it's for kids aged 6 to 11. Winter is a time when some insects and other creatures can be out just like those in the summer. Learn which insects and other creatures are out during the winter time and how they spend the chilly days until it becomes warm again. For information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Wednesday, December 29th from 1 o'clock to 1:30 p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. For starters, there's an event called Happiness 101. Just between you and me, I would expect the 55 Plus version to be an upper level course, but never mind. It's dedicated to the idea that looking at the world through rose-colored glasses is possible. It's a chance to join in as volunteer Paul Singh shares his tips to keep smiling. Might even help some folks to just start smiling. The 55 Plus guide didn't seem to have a listing, so I got no activity number, so for information you better call 703-228-6535, register online or call 703-228-4747. I do know it's coming up on Tuesday, December 28th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Arlington Mill Community Center, 909 South Dinwiddie Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, we got another thing called Genealogy 101, another 101. It's a chance to meet with other genealogy enthusiasts to learn about your family's roots. Now, some of our ancestors may have come across on the Mayflower, and some may have come across in the back seat of an old Chevy, but either way, it's all done in a fun, friendly atmosphere for sharing information and tools. Some material will be provided on meeting dates on the third and fourth Tuesdays of each month. The group will be led by experienced genealogist Eileen Boggendorf, who will probably help keep people like me in line. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 912-402-14. And that's on Tuesday, December 28th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Lubber Run Park, North Columbus and 2nd Streets. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, we got another chance to stay active with friendly walking companions. You'll explore nearby trails and neighborhoods in a safe, socially distant manner. Destinations may be changed or excursions canceled for inclement weather or code red days. That's what it says. Now, like some of you, I got to wondering just what is a code red day? I did an internet search and I found that the meaning of code red day seems to depend on where you live. Now, if you're in Baltimore, it's a warning about extreme heat, like when the heat index is greater than or equal to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't think that applies during the current season. On the other hand, if you're in Texas, a code red day means that a significant weather event is expected to hit or affect the Rio Grande Valley. That'd be like a tornado or something. I don't think that applies in our area. I checked out the Arlington County government website and I searched under Code Red Day. And the site had entries about building codes and the Red Cross, code consultations, and Red Ribbon Week, but nothing that explained what they mean by Code Red Day. I don't think it's related to the Red Hat Society, but I don't really know, and the county ain't telling. Anyway, the 55 Plus Guide does provide the general location of Falls Church, but you'll have to call 703-228-4747 for more details on just where to meet up. I do know the activity number is 912-106-5, and that's coming up on Wednesday, December 29th from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, here's a chance to enjoy both classic and modern movies at Aurora Hills with your fellow 55 plus friends. The December movie is one of the modern ones. It's called Jojo Rabbit. It's from 2019 and it's rated PG-13. Now, in spite of its cute sounding title, Jojo Rabbit is not an animated feature about adorable little animals. It's a live-action story of Johannes, Jojo, Betzler, a 10-year-old Hitler Youth member who finds out that his mother is hiding a Jewish girl in their attic. He must then question his beliefs while dealing with the intervention of his imaginary friend YTT, who is a fanciful version of Adolf Hitler with a comedic stance on the politics of the war. You'll probably be doing some thinking after you watch this one. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 912-401-03. And that's on Wednesday, December 29th from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Anyway, that's all I got for 55 plus news. It was kind of a short list this week, which is why I got to stretch a little.
Just a thought.
I have got a
Just
beef
thought.
to pick. Yes, I do.
Hurry on now.
Because
We're
all
running out of
these
time.
shows like Battle of the Network Stars are back on TV, and America's Got Talent, and nobody called Mrs. Claus, did they?
Oh.
I didn't hear a ring-a-ding-a-ding to Mrs. Claus. No, I did not. I am famous. I am just as famous as
I would say.
the Howie Mandel,
Yeah,
wouldn't
probably.
you? And I will
Absolutely.
shake hands with you.
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I will.
Yes, you would.
They did not call me. Richard, did
What's
they
wr-
call me?
What's
Not
wrong
at
with
all.
them?
No, they didn't.
I would call you.
And I have an act. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Would you guys like to see my act?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
got an
do
act. Oh,
not
you give a
just
real
tell
act.
funny jokes. What do you get when you deep fry Santa? Kris Kringle.
I like that one. That's good.
That's not too funny about Santa Claus, though, is it?
Can I eat my Grinch now? I'm
Yes,
getting kind of
eat
hungry.
your Grinch.
Thank
Now,
you.
would you guys like to see what my act is?
Let's see it.
Okay, I'm going to show you my act. Now, America's Got Talent, Network Stars.
Pretty good.
All right, Daniel, come on over. Now, I'm going to attempt. These eggs are not hard-boiled. These eggs are raw, okay? And not a one of them is going to break. Now, don't nobody look at my bare ankles, people, because it may turn you on, okay? And that is scandalous. And here at the Arlington Weekly News, we do not do scandal or smut, okay?
Oh, smut.
Okay, now here we go.
I see you painted your toenail. That's very nice.
And not a one of them. Oh, Lordy.
Uh-oh.
Well, on the YouTube, they didn't break. Okay, now let go of my hand. Let me see. On the YouTube, not a one of them broke.
What's
Well, somewhere people can pay big money for
Well.
this on those smuts.
What do you know about that? They're not.
Well,
Eggs are not as
I
strong
think
as
I
you
got
thought they were.
misled. I don't think they'll be calling me.
Maybe
I
you
think
should
I
have
best
just tried them
work on my
sideways.
talents.
Maybe it's the
Yeah.
maybe it's the
A few of 'em
packaging.
stayed. What do you think?
Maybe it's the packaging.
I think so. I think it's those. I think I bought cheap eggs.
Well, so much for hard boiling those. Well, there's a couple there. You can make omelets.
There we go. Jingle bells,
jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hey, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.